He touched the sealed gate as a joke, and the ancient Sentinel opened its eyes. Before we dive into this story, drop a quick hi in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. It really helps support the channel. The sweltering heat of the alien desert pressed down on the small research team as they approached the massive stone structure that had confounded xenoarchaeologists for decades. "This is it," Dr. Lauren Bennett announced, wiping sweat from her brow as she gazed up at the towering gate embedded in the mountainside. The sealed gate of Terex Prime. Tyler Grant, the team's youngest member at 26, whistled low. Bigger than the images made it look. The ancient structure rose nearly 40 meters high, its surface covered in strange geometric patterns that seemed to shift subtly when viewed from different angles. The gate itself appeared to be made from a single piece of obsidian-like material that reflected no light, creating a perfect void in the center of an otherwise ordinary rocky cliff face. For 3 decades, research teams had studied the gate, finding no way to open it or determine what lay beyond. The native Terexians, a peaceful, technologically advanced species with 4 arms and iridescent skin, regarded the structure with religious reverence, claiming it predated their civilization by millennia. Their legends spoke of it as a doorway left by those who came before, but offered little more information. Dr. Bennett's team was the 7th Earth expedition to study the gate, but the first since humans had formalized diplomatic relations with the Teresian High Council. They had been granted unprecedented access to conduct non-invasive tests on the structure itself, something previously forbidden. "Incredible craftsmanship," remarked Dr. Ethan Cole, running his scanner over the surface. "No detectable seams or joints. The material doesn't match anything in our database." Chief Security Officer Megan Brooks kept a watchful eye on their surroundings. Though Terex Prime was considered safe, protocols demanded vigilance on any alien world. "Let's set up the base camp. Readings show nightfall in about 3 hours." As the team began unpacking their equipment, Tyler wandered closer to the gate, captivated by its perfect darkness. Unlike his colleagues, who were all seasoned xenoarchaeologists or security personnel, Tyler was merely a technical assistant, brought along to maintain their equipment. This was his first off-world assignment, and the magnitude of their discovery hadn't fully registered until now. The gate stood before him, silent and imposing. Its surface bore intricate patterns that reminded him of circuit boards, though far more complex and alien. He pulled out his personal scanner and began taking readings, careful not to touch the surface. "Find anything interesting?" asked Natalie Quinn, the team's linguist, as she approached. Tyler shook his head, just confirming what everyone else has found. "It's impervious to all scans. No radiation, no energy signatures, nothing. It's like it's not even there, except visually." Natalie nodded, studying the symbols etched around the frame. "These markings don't match any known Teresian dialects, ancient or modern. They're completely unique." "Maybe it's just elaborate Teresian artwork," Tyler suggested. "A religious monument with no practical purpose." "I doubt it," Natalie replied. "The Terexians are pragmatic. Their religious artifacts always serve dual functions. Besides, their own records acknowledge this predates their civilization." As the day progressed, the team set up their equipment and began preliminary scans. Dr. Bennett established a perimeter of sensors to monitor any changes in the gate or surrounding environment, while Dr. Cole collected surface samples from the surrounding rock face. That evening, gathered around the portable heating unit outside their shelters, the team discussed their findings. "Initial results confirm previous expeditions' data," Dr. Bennett said, reviewing her tablet. "The gate absorbs all forms of energy directed at it: light, sound, radiation. It's essentially a perfect black body. The Teresian myths suggest it's a doorway to another realm," Natalie added. "But there's no indication of any mechanism to open it. What if it requires a specific trigger?" Tyler suggested. "Something biological, perhaps?" The Terexians never mentioned trying to touch it. Dr. Cole shook his head. "The Teresian High Priestess explicitly forbade physical contact. They believe it would be sacrilegious. And we're respecting their wishes, Dr. Bennett said firmly. No contact. We observe, we document, we theorize. That's all. Tyler nodded, but something about the gate continued to nag at him. The pattern seemed almost familiar, like something he'd seen in his engineering studies back on Earth, but he couldn't place it. The next morning, Tyler woke before the others. Unable to sleep, he decided to take some early readings while the desert air was still cool. He approached the gate, scanner in hand, and began documenting the patterns in more detail than the team had managed yesterday. As the sun rose, casting long shadows across the desert floor, Tyler noticed something unusual. In the oblique morning light, some of the patterns seemed to glow faintly with a bluish tinge. He adjusted his scanner's settings to compensate for the low light conditions, hoping to capture the phenomenon before it disappeared. "You're up early," said Megan, startling him as she approached, rifle casually slung over her shoulder. "Couldn't sleep," Tyler admitted. "And look at this. The patterns change in different light." Megan leaned in, studying the faint glow. "Interesting. Better log it for Dr. Bennett." As they watched, the glow faded as the sun rose higher. Tyler felt a twinge of disappointment as the effect disappeared completely. Throughout the day, the team conducted various non-invasive tests, but found nothing that previous expeditions hadn't already documented. The gate remained as mysterious as ever, silently mocking their efforts to understand it. By the third day, frustration began to set in. Despite their advanced equipment and techniques, they were no closer to understanding the gate's purpose than when they arrived. "Maybe we're overthinking this," Tyler said during lunch break. "What if it's simpler than we're making it out to be?" "How so?" asked Dr. Bennett, looking up from her notes. "Well, doors usually open when you knock, right?" Tyler said with a shrug. "Or push. Or pull." Dr. Cole chuckled. "I doubt an advanced alien civilization would design a sophisticated gateway that opens with a simple push." "Probably not," Tyler agreed. "But sometimes the simplest solution is the right one." As the afternoon wore on, Tyler found himself alone near the gate while the others worked on analyzing data at the base camp. He stared at the obsidian surface, its perfect darkness seemingly absorbing not just light, but his very thoughts. A sudden impulse seized him. What if it really was that simple? What if all the gate needed was someone to touch it? The Tyrixians had never tried, bound by their religious prohibitions. Previous human expeditions had respected those prohibitions out of diplomatic necessity. But now, with no one watching, Tyler glanced back at the camp. Everyone was engrossed in their work. He looked at the gate again, heart pounding. It was a stupid idea, of course. Probably nothing would happen. But what if something did? "This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever done," Tyler muttered to himself, approaching the gate. "But hey, at least it'll make a good story. Remember that idiot who touched the alien artifact and got disintegrated? That was me." With a nervous laugh, he reached out, pausing with his fingertips just centimeters from the surface. Then, with a deep breath, he placed his palm flat against the gate. The material felt cool and smooth, like polished stone. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a low hum that seemed to vibrate through his bones rather than the air, tiny lines of blue light began to spread from his hand, following the intricate patterns etched into the gate's surface. The darkness of the material remained, but now interwoven with threads of brilliant azure that pulsed with an almost biological rhythm. Tyler jerked his hand back in shock, but the process had already begun. The blue lines continued to spread, gradually illuminating the entire surface of the gate in a complex network of light. "Guys," Tyler shouted, backing away. "Something's happening." The team rushed from the camp, equipment forgotten as they witnessed the transformation. The entire gate now pulsed with blue energy, the patterns shifting and realigning themselves into new configurations. "What did you do?" Dr. Bennett demanded, staring in disbelief. I touched it," Tyler admitted. "Just as a joke, you know. I didn't think anything would actually happen." Before Dr. Bennett could respond, a new sound emerged from the gate, a deep, resonant tone that seemed to bypass their ears and vibrate directly in their chests. The blue lines concentrated toward the center of the gate, forming a circular pattern. Then, in the very middle of the circle, a point of light appeared. Not blue like the lines, but a brilliant white that expanded slowly outward. And within that light, something moved. The team stood transfixed as the white light expanded to form a perfect circle about 2 meters in diameter. Within this circle, obscured by the brightness but gradually becoming visible, was what appeared to be an enormous eye. The eye blinked. "Is that?" Tyler couldn't finish the sentence. "An eye," Natalie whispered. "A massive eye. The pupil, vertical like a cat's and deep violet in color, focused on them. The iris surrounding it shimmered with colors beyond human description, constantly shifting and changing. Then a voice filled their minds, not heard through their ears, but somehow directly implanted in their consciousness. It spoke in no language they recognized, yet they understood perfectly. Genetic profile recognized. Human designation confirmed. First contact protocol initiated. The team exchanged bewildered glances. It recognizes us?" Dr. Cole said in disbelief. "Affirmative. Human genome detected. Compatibility assessment, positive. Proceeding with interface initialization." Dr. Bennett stepped forward cautiously. What are you?" "Designation, Guardian. Function, Sentinel of the Nexus Network. Status, dormant for 127,893 local stellar cycles. Activation triggered by compatible biological entity." "Us," Natalie breathed. "It was waiting for humans." "But how?" Megan asked. "Humans haven't been in this part of the galaxy until the last century. This thing is ancient." Tyler's mind raced. "Unless whoever built it knew we'd eventually get here." The eye shifted, seeming to focus specifically on Tyler. The sensation of being scrutinized by that alien gaze sent shivers down his spine. Primary activator identified. Tyler Grant of Earth. Genetic sequence logged. Tyler swallowed hard. "It knows my name." "How does it know my name?" "Surface thoughts," Natalie suggested. "It must be capable of reading our minds at some level." Partial telepathic interface active. Full communication requires complete activation sequence. Dr. Bennett held up her hands in a calming gesture. "What does complete activation entail?" "Physical passage through the gateway. Minimum requirement, primary activator." All eyes turned to Tyler, who took an involuntary step backward. "Whoa, I'm not going through some alien portal to who knows where." Destination, Nexus Hub Alpha. Purpose, induction of human species into the Galactic Network. Galactic Network? Dr. Cole repeated. "Like an interstellar civilization?" "Affirmative. The network encompasses 4,827 sentient species across 12,039 stellar systems. Humanity has achieved sufficient technological and ethical development for inclusion." The implications were staggering. First contact with not just one alien civilization, but thousands. Access to technology and knowledge beyond their wildest dreams. It was everything humanity had hoped for since first looking up at the stars. "How do we know this isn't a trap?" Megan asked, ever the security officer. "Some predatory species luring us in?" The eye blinked again, and somehow the gesture conveyed something like amusement. "Logical concern. Evidence provided upon passage. No compulsion will be applied. Choice remains with primary activator." Tyler felt the weight of the situation descending on his shoulders. What had begun as a joke, touching an alien artifact against orders, had somehow transformed into him potentially being humanity's ambassador to a vast galactic community. "This is way above my pay grade," he muttered. "Shouldn't this be Dr. Bennett's decision? Or, I don't know, the United Earth government?" Protocol established by network founders. Primary activator must be first contact representative. Decision window, 100 local time units. "That's about 6 hours, Dr. Cole calculated, checking his device. Dr. Bennett placed a hand on Tyler's shoulder. "We need to contact Earth immediately. The government needs to know about this." "And say what?" Tyler asked. "Hey, one of our junior techs accidentally woke up an ancient alien doorway, and now it wants him to step through as humanity's representative to a galactic federation." They'll think we've all gone insane. We have evidence, Dr. Bennett replied, gesturing to the active gate with its massive eye still watching them. And we need guidance. This is far beyond our mission parameters. As the team hurried back to camp to establish communication with Earth, Tyler remained rooted in place, staring at the eye that continued to observe him with alien intelligence. Why me? He asked quietly. Out of all humans, why did you activate for me? Genetic compatibility highest among present individuals. Specific markers indicate optimal neural plasticity for initial interface. But I'm nobody important, Tyler insisted. I'm just a tech assistant. Importance is subjective. Potential is objective. Your potential matches required parameters. Tyler wasn't sure if that made him feel better or worse. Back at camp, Dr. Bennett was facing the limitations of interstellar communication. Even with quantum entanglement technology, there would be a significant delay before they received any response from Earth. We've sent the data burst, she told Tyler when he joined them. But we won't hear back for at least 4 hours. The Guardian said I have 6 hours to decide, Tyler replied. That doesn't leave much time for debate. Dr. Cole was reviewing the scanner data they'd captured since the gate's activation. The energy readings are off the charts, but stable. Whatever technology is powering this, it's beyond anything we've encountered before. What do you think I should do? Tyler asked the group, desperation in his voice. It's not our place to tell you, Dr. Bennett said carefully. This is apparently your decision to make. But I never asked for this. Few do when history comes calling, Natalie said quietly. But here we are. As the hours ticked by, the team debated possibilities and risks. The gate remained active, the Guardian's eye occasionally blinking, but otherwise motionless, watching and waiting. 5 hours after sending their message, they received Earth's response. The encrypted transmission was brief and to the point. Proceed with caution. Establish positive contact if possible. Grant authorized as provisional representative pending formal diplomatic mission. Priority: information gathering, non-aggression assurance. Well, that's surprisingly straightforward, Megan remarked. I expected more bureaucratic hand-wringing. They probably don't fully believe us, Dr. Cole suggested. Even with the data we sent. Tyler read the message again. So they're saying I should go through? They're authorizing you to go through, Dr. Bennett corrected. The choice is still yours. Tyler looked back at the gate, the eye still watching expectantly. His mind raced with possibilities, both wondrous and terrifying. What lay beyond that portal? A new era for humanity? Or something darker? He thought of all the science fiction he'd read growing up, stories of first contact and interstellar civilizations. He'd dreamed of such things, but never imagined he'd be at the center of humanity's first steps into a larger community of intelligent beings. I'll do it, he said finally. But I want to be prepared. I need to take equipment, scanners, communication devices, emergency supplies. Dr. Bennett nodded. We'll get you outfitted. And Tyler, thank you. As the team gathered the necessary equipment, Tyler approached the gate once more. The Guardian's eye focused on him immediately. I'll go through, he told it. But I need assurances that I can return safely to inform my people about what I find. Return passage guaranteed. Safety protocols active. No harm will come to representative during transit or initial contact phase. Tyler took a deep breath. Okay then, let's make history. An hour later, equipped with a specialized suit, sensors, recording devices, and emergency supplies, Tyler stood before the gate. The rest of the team maintained a respectful distance, their expressions a mixture of awe, concern, and perhaps a touch of envy. Remember the protocols, Dr. Bennett reminded him. Observe first, interact second. Maintain constant communication as long as possible. If contact is lost, attempt to re-establish every 30 minutes. Tyler nodded, his mouth too dry to speak. The reality of what he was about to do had finally hit him full force. Preparation complete, the Guardian inquired. Yes, Tyler managed to say. I'm ready. The eye blinked once more, then the white circle around it expanded further, the light intensifying until it filled the entire center of the gate. The blue patterns along the edges pulsed faster, creating a hypnotic rhythm that seemed to pull at Tyler's consciousness. Transit sequence initiated. Proceed when ready. Representative Tyler Grant. With one last look at his teammates, Tyler took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and stepped forward into the light. The sensation was unlike anything he had ever experienced. It wasn't like walking through a doorway. It was like being unmade and remade in the same instant. Every atom of his body seemed to sing with energy, his consciousness expanding to encompass perceptions beyond normal human senses. For an eternal moment, Tyler existed everywhere and nowhere, his mind touching briefly against vast, alien intelligences that regarded his passage with what felt like curiosity and welcome. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the sensation ended. Tyler found himself standing on solid ground once more, his eyes closed and body trembling from the experience. "Transit complete," said a voice, no longer in his mind, but audible through normal hearing. "Welcome to Nexus Hub Alpha, Representative Tyler Grant of Earth." Tyler opened his eyes and gasped. He stood in a vast circular chamber with walls that seemed to be made of the same obsidian-like material as the gate. But here they were alive with patterns of light in every color imaginable. The ceiling arched high above, a perfect dome that appeared to show the actual space outside, a swirling nebula of purple and blue gas clouds, studded with brilliant stars. Before him stretched a bridge of what looked like solid light, leading to a central platform where several figures waited. The figures were diverse in form and size, some humanoid, others utterly alien in appearance. And standing closest to him, its massive eye now set in what appeared to be a vaguely humanoid body composed of shifting light patterns, was the Guardian. "Your journey begins," it said, extending what might have been a hand. "Humanity's introduction to the greater community awaits." Tyler swallowed hard, straightened his shoulders, and stepped forward to meet the representatives of the Galactic Network, carrying the future of humanity with each step. Behind him, the gateway shimmered, maintaining its connection to Terex Prime and the waiting human team. And beyond that, to Earth itself, still unaware of how dramatically its place in the universe had just changed because one young technician had touched a sealed gate as a joke. Tyler took another tentative step forward on the bridge of light, marveling at how solid it felt beneath his feet despite its ethereal appearance. His heart hammered in his chest as he approached the waiting delegation. The Guardian moved beside him, its body of shifting light patterns flowing like liquid crystal. The Council representatives have assembled to greet Earth's first contact. Each represents a founding species of the network. As Tyler neared the central platform, he could better distinguish the alien beings. One resembled a tall, slender insectoid with iridescent wings folded against its back. Another was a massive entity that seemed to be composed of living stone, with glowing veins of magma visible beneath its craggy surface. A third appeared almost gaseous, its vaguely humanoid shape constantly shifting and swirling with colors. "I'm transmitting everything back to my team," Tyler said, trying to keep his voice steady as he gestured to the recording equipment on his suit. "They're relaying to Earth." As expected, the Guardian replied. Transparency is valued in first contact protocols. When Tyler reached the platform, the assembled aliens made various gestures that he assumed were their equivalent of greetings. The Guardian began introducing them one by one. "High Counselor Zith of the Moradi," it said, indicating the insectoid being, who inclined its head. "Their civilization has guided the network's expansion for 50,000 years." The insectoid's voice was melodic, like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "We welcome Earth to the greater community, Representative Grant. Your species has been observed with great interest." "You've been watching us?" Tyler asked, surprised. "Since your first radio transmissions reached network monitoring stations," Zith confirmed. "Standard protocol for emerging technological species." The Guardian continued the introductions. "Elder Coruum of the Lithic Harmony." The stone being rumbled a greeting, the sound reverberating in Tyler's chest. and thought weaver Elsinai of the Vereen Collective. The gaseous entity pulsed with light in what seemed to be acknowledgement. There were 5 others, each more alien than the last. A being that appeared to be made entirely of intricate crystal lattices. A small, furry creature with enormous eyes and 6 limbs. A towering, plant-like entity with fronds that constantly rearranged themselves. And 2 others whose forms were so strange that Tyler's mind struggled to process them. The Council wishes to formally welcome humanity to the Galactic Network, the Guardian announced. They have prepared a preliminary information package for your species, explaining the network's history, purpose, and the benefits of membership. As if on cue, a sphere of blue light materialized before Tyler. When he hesitantly reached for it, the sphere expanded and transformed into a holographic display showing vast amounts of data scrolling too quickly for him to read. This data is being transmitted through your communication devices to your team, the Guardian explained. It contains basic information only. Technological, historical, and cultural exchanges require formal membership protocols. Tyler nodded, overwhelmed by the implications. And what exactly does membership entail? What would Earth need to do? Zith stepped forward. The process is gradual, representative grant. Initial phases involve cultural exchange and limited technological sharing. Your world would establish a permanent diplomatic presence here at the hub. As trust develops, deeper integration follows. No species is required to share technologies they are not comfortable releasing, added Corwum, its voice like grinding stones. Sovereignty is respected. The network is a community, not an empire. Tyler's scientific curiosity kicked in despite his nervousness. This hub, where exactly are we? Another planet? Another dimension? The Guardian gestured upward toward the nebula visible through the dome. Nexus Hub Alpha exists at a junction point between dimensional planes. It is everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, accessible from all network gates when properly activated. That's not very specific, Tyler remarked. A sound like crystals tinkling came from one of the aliens. Laughter, Tyler realized with surprise. Few species grasp transdimensional physics during first contact. The crystal being said, its voice resonating like a struck bell. Your confusion is expected. Perhaps a demonstration would be appropriate, suggested Elsinai, its gaseous form rippling. The observation chamber? The Guardian inclined what passed for its head. An excellent suggestion. With a gesture from the Guardian, the platform beneath them began to move, gliding smoothly across the chamber toward one of the walls. As they approached, a section of the wall dissolved, revealing a new space beyond. The observation chamber was smaller, but no less impressive. Its walls were transparent, offering a breathtaking view of space, but not the nebula Tyler had seen earlier. Instead, he saw a familiar blue-green planet orbiting a yellow star. Earth, he whispered in recognition. Correct, the Guardian confirmed. The network's observation outpost in your solar system captures these images. You have a base in our solar system? Tyler asked, alarmed. Where? Beyond the orbit of your dwarf planet Pluto, Zith explained. Cloaked from detection by your current technology. Non-interference protocols have been strictly observed. Tyler was conflicted between feeling violated by the surveillance and amazed by the technology that made it possible. How long have you been watching us? The current observation post was established when your species developed nuclear weapons, answered Corwum. Previous monitoring was less direct. The view shifted, zooming in on Earth, then switching to various locations around the globe, cities, oceans, forests, deserts. Tyler watched in awe as the perspective changed to show human achievements and natural wonders alike. Your species is unique among those we have encountered, Elsinai commented, floating closer to Tyler. Your adaptability and creativity exceed predictive models. Is that why the gate activated for humans? Tyler asked. There are other species in our part of the galaxy, the Tyrixians, for instance. Why weren't they chosen? The council members exchanged what seemed to be meaningful glances before Zith answered. The network's founders established specific criteria for new member species. The Tyrixians are respected, but their biological and cognitive patterns did not match gateway activation parameters. And humanity's did? Tyler pressed. Your species possesses a rare combination of traits, the Guardian explained. Technological innovation, adaptability, empathic capacity, and biological compatibility with network systems. Something about that last criterion made Tyler uneasy. Biological compatibility? What does that mean exactly? Before the Guardian could answer, a sharp alert sound echoed through the chamber. The wall displays flickered, shifting to show a different section of the hub where a new gateway had activated. Unexpected arrival, the Guardian announced, its tone changing subtly. Security protocols engaged. On the display, Tyler watched as a group of beings emerged from the new gateway. They were tall, gray-skinned humanoids with elongated limbs and oversized heads, not unlike the classic alien depictions from Earth science fiction. They moved with precision, their movements almost mechanical. The Vex, Zith hissed, multifaceted eyes narrowing. They were not scheduled to attend this contact event. Tyler sensed the sudden tension among the council members. Who are the Vex? A network species, Corum rumbled. Technologically advanced. Politically complex. They oppose expansion, added Elsinai, its gaseous form darkening. Especially integration of species with your particular attributes. Before Tyler could ask for clarification, the chamber door dissolved, and 3 of the gray beings entered. Their large, black eyes fixed immediately on Tyler, studying him with cold intensity. This proceeding violates established protocols, stated the foremost Vex, its voice flat and emotionless. Human integration requires full council approval. This is an initial contact only, the Guardian countered. No integration has been initiated. The Vex's attention remained on Tyler. Human biological patterns confirm our concerns. Their neural architecture contains the same anomalies. The risk is unacceptable. Tyler looked between the Vex and the council members, confused and increasingly worried. What anomalies? What risk? Zith stepped forward, positioning herself between Tyler and the Vex. Representative Grant. The Vex Coalition has historically opposed inclusion of species with certain cognitive traits, specifically, those that share patterns with the network's founders. The Ancient Ones were destroyed by their own creation, stated the Vex leader. Humans show the same potential for self-destruction through technological means. Tyler felt like he had stepped into the middle of a long-standing argument. Wait, are you saying you don't want humans in your network because we might create dangerous AI or something similar? Simplistic, but essentially correct, confirmed the Vex. Your species' technological advancement curve indicates 92.7% probability of developing autonomous systems exceeding your control within 1 century. That's why the gates were sealed, Tyler realized suddenly. The founders of your network, these Ancient Ones, they were wiped out by their own technology, weren't they? And they created the gates to find species that might avoid their fate. The Guardian's eye fixed on Tyler with renewed interest. Your intuitive leap is impressive. Yes, the ancestral architects created the Nexus network before their extinction. The gates were designed to activate only for species with the potential to navigate the technological singularity safely. And you think humans have this potential? Tyler asked. We calculate a 62.3% probability of success, the Guardian replied. Higher than any candidate species identified in the last 10,000 years. The Vex leader made a sharp, dismissive gesture. Unacceptable margins. The coalition demands quarantine protocols. Denied, Zith responded immediately. The human has legitimately activated the gateway. Network charter is clear on this matter. As the aliens argued, Tyler's mind raced. He was beginning to understand the true significance of his accidental activation of the gate. This wasn't just about making contact with an alien civilization. It was about humanity's very future, about whether they would join this vast interstellar community or be isolated from it. And somehow, it all hinged on whether humans could be trusted not to destroy themselves with their own technology. I need to communicate with my team, Tyler interrupted, causing the aliens to fall silent. They should know what's happening. The Guardian nodded. Your transmission link remains active. They have been receiving all data. Tyler activated his suit's communication system. Dr. Bennett, are you receiving this? After a moment of static, her voice came through, filled with wonder and concern. We're getting everything, Tyler. The implications are staggering. Earth Command is conferencing in specialists to analyze the data you're sending. There's a dispute here, Tyler explained. Some members of this network don't think humanity should be included because we might develop dangerous AI. Apparently, that's what wiped out the civilization that built these gates in the first place. Fascinating, Dr. Bennett replied. The irony is that we've been working on AI safeguards for decades precisely because we feared that outcome. Tyler turned back to the council. My people have already anticipated this risk. We've implemented extensive safety protocols in our artificial intelligence research. Predictive models suggest a 70.2% chance that such safeguards will be insufficient, countered the Vex leader. Models based on your own technological path, Sith responded. Humans have demonstrated unique approaches to problem solving. The debate continued, growing more heated. Tyler watched as the council members split into factions, some supporting humanity's inclusion, others backing the Vex position. It was clear this was not a new argument, but rather the continuation of an ancient philosophical divide within the network. As the aliens debated, Tyler had a sudden realization. They were all approaching this from their own biases and experiences. None of them, not even the Guardian, truly understood humanity's unique perspective. Excuse me, he interrupted again, more forcefully this time. I think you're all missing something important. The chamber fell silent as all attention turned to him. You keep talking about models and probabilities, but you're overlooking what makes humans different, Tyler said, finding confidence he didn't know he possessed. Yes, we've made mistakes. Yes, we've developed technologies that threatened our existence. But each time, we've pulled back from the brink. He gestured to the images of Earth still visible on the chamber walls. Nuclear weapons? We built them, then created treaties to control them. Climate change? We caused it, then developed solutions. We learn from our mistakes. We adapt. We change course when necessary. Statistical anomalies, the Vex leader dismissed. Temporary reversals in a larger trend towards self-destruction. Tyler shook his head. No, it's who we are. Humans aren't just one thing. We're contradictory by nature. We can be selfish and selfless, destructive and creative, short-sighted and visionary, sometimes all at once. That diversity of thought is our greatest strength. He turned to the Guardian. Your founders created these gates to find species that could avoid their fate. I think they were looking for species that balance technological progress with ethical constraints, that can see multiple perspectives and choose wisely. The Guardian's eyes seemed to brighten. An intriguing hypothesis. Isn't that why the gate opened for me specifically? Tyler pressed. You said I had optimal neural plasticity for initial interface. I think that means I can see different viewpoints, adapt my thinking. Exactly what would be needed to prevent the kind of single-minded technological progress that destroyed your founders. A ripple of communication passed through the council members. Even the Vex seemed to be reassessing. The human demonstrates the very quality the architects sought, Zith observed. The capacity to recognize one's own destructive potential and consciously choose a different path. One individual is not representative of an entire species, the Vex leader countered, but with less certainty. Actually, in this case, I think I am, Tyler said. Humans are individuals, yes, but we're also connected. We learn from each other. We influence each other. Ideas spread among us like, he searched for a comparison the aliens might understand, like quantum entanglement. One revelation can change our entire civilization's direction. Tyler felt a strange certainty growing within him. The gate didn't open because I'm special. It opened because I represent what humanity could be at its best, curious, adaptable, and willing to learn from mistakes. The Guardian's eye fixed on Tyler for a long moment. Then it turned to the council. The activation criteria have been met. Network protocols are clear. Earth qualifies for preliminary membership status. The Vex leader stepped back, clearly outvoted but still resistant. We will register our formal protest. The coalition maintains that this integration presents unacceptable risks. Noted, the Guardian acknowledged. But the decision stands. With the immediate conflict resolved, the atmosphere in the chamber relaxed somewhat. The Council returned to the matter of humanity's introduction to the network, discussing the next steps in the process. A formal diplomatic mission will be required, Sith explained to Tyler. Your world leaders must select official representatives to negotiate membership terms. Will I be allowed to return to Earth? Tyler asked. To explain what I've seen here? Of course, the Guardian replied. You are the first contact representative. Your experience and testimony will be crucial to your species' understanding of the network. As the details were being arranged, Tyler's communication device activated again. Tyler, it's Dr. Bennett. Earth Command has reviewed the transmission and authorized me to convey their preliminary response. Go ahead, Tyler said, gesturing for the Council to listen. The United Earth Government extends formal greetings to the Galactic Network Council, Dr. Bennett's voice stated, clearly reading from an official statement. We are honored by this historic contact and express our sincere interest in peaceful relations and potential membership. We request a grace period of 60 Earth days to prepare a proper diplomatic delegation. The Council members conferred briefly before Zith responded. The Council accepts Earth's request. A 60-day preparation period is granted. The gateway on Terex Prime will remain activated to facilitate communication and eventual transit of your diplomatic team. With the formalities concluded, the Guardian approached Tyler. You must have many questions before you return. Tyler laughed softly. About 1 million. But I think the most important one is, what happens now? For me, for Earth, for this relationship we're beginning. You will return as the bearer of momentous news, the Guardian said. Your world will never be the same. But the path forward is one you will determine yourselves. The network does not dictate, it connects. Tyler nodded, thinking of the enormous responsibility that now rested on his shoulders, and on humanity as a whole. And the Vex? Will they continue to oppose us? The Vex coalition represents an important perspective within the network, the Guardian explained. Their caution serves as a necessary balance to others' enthusiasm. In time, they may revise their assessment of humanity. Or we might prove them right, Tyler acknowledged soberly. That's the thing about humans. Our future isn't predetermined. We have to choose it every day. Perhaps that is precisely why the Architect's Gate responded to you, the Guardian observed. As preparations for Tyler's return journey began, he was given a small device, a communication link that would allow direct contact with the hub until the diplomatic mission arrived. This is just the beginning, Zith told him as they returned to the main chamber, where the Earth gateway pulsed with blue energy. Your species stands at a threshold few ever reach. Tyler took a deep breath as he prepared to step back through the gate, knowing he would return to a world on the verge of transformation. We won't disappoint you, he promised, though he knew it wasn't a promise he could guarantee. The Guardian's eye blinked once. It is not us you must satisfy, Representative Grant. It is yourselves. The greatest challenge humans face is not external, but internal, the struggle to balance progress with wisdom. With those words resonating in his mind, Tyler stepped through the gateway. The same sensation of being unmade and remade washed over him, and then he was standing on the familiar ground of Terex Prime, facing his astonished teammates. Tyler, Dr. Bennett exclaimed, rushing forward. Are you all right? The data you sent, it's revolutionary. Tyler nodded, still processing everything he had experienced. I'm fine. And yes, everything's about to change. The team gathered around him, eager for first-hand accounts of what they had only seen through transmitted data. As Tyler began explaining, he noticed the Teresian High Priestess approaching, flanked by members of their religious order. The prophecy is fulfilled, she declared, her 4 arms raised in what appeared to be a gesture of reverence. The gateway has awakened, and the messengers have been received. You knew? Tyler asked in surprise. Your legends mention this? Not with clarity, the High Priestess admitted. But our oldest texts speak of a time when those who touched the stars would open the path that our kind could not. We have waited, watching over the gate for generations. Tyler felt a new appreciation for the Tyrixians and their steadfast guardianship of the gate throughout their history. Your people have been excellent caretakers, he told her. Humanity won't forget that. As night fell on Terex Prime, Earth Command sent new instructions. The team was to secure the gate site and prepare for the arrival of diplomatic personnel and scientific specialists. Within hours, ships would be dispatched from the nearest Earth outpost. Sitting alone near the gate, Tyler watched as the blue patterns continued to pulse rhythmically. The Guardian's eye was no longer visible, but he knew the connection remained open, a doorway to possibilities beyond imagination. Dr. Bennett joined him, offering a cup of hot Syntho coffee. How does it feel to have changed human history forever? She asked with a gentle smile. Tyler took the cup gratefully. Honestly, terrifying, exhilarating, humbling. I keep thinking about what would have happened if I hadn't touched the gate. Someone would have, eventually, Dr. Bennett said. If not here, then at one of the other gates the network surely has placed throughout the galaxy. Maybe, Tyler conceded. But it happened now with us, and we have to get it right. He looked up at the stars, knowing they no longer represented distant, unreachable mysteries, but worlds with their own civilizations, histories, and knowledge, potential allies and friends in humanity's ongoing journey. The Guardian said something that keeps resonating with me. Tyler said quietly, that our greatest challenge isn't external but internal, balancing progress with wisdom. I think that's the real test the network's founders built into their gates. Not just finding species technologically advanced enough to activate them, but species wise enough to use what they'll gain responsibly. Dr. Bennett nodded thoughtfully. And what do you think? Will we pass that test? Tyler considered the question seriously. I think we have a better chance than most. We're stubborn, we're diverse in our thinking, and at our best, we learn from our mistakes. Those might be exactly the qualities needed to avoid the fate of the architects. As they sat in companionable silence, watching the alien stars wheel overhead, Tyler thought about the joke that had started it all, a simple, impulsive touch that had altered the course of human history forever. In that moment, he made a silent promise to himself and to the future generations who would inherit this new relationship with the cosmos. Humanity would not squander this opportunity. The Galactic Network had opened its doors to Earth, and through curiosity, adaptability, and perhaps a touch of recklessness, qualities that made humans uniquely human, they would find their place among the stars. 60 days later, as the Earth diplomatic delegation prepared to make humanity's official entrance into the network, Tyler stood once more before the gate. No longer a junior technician, but now Earth's officially appointed first contact liaison, he placed his hand deliberately on the obsidian surface. The blue patterns illuminated instantly, recognizing him. The Guardian's eye appeared, blinking once in what Tyler now recognized as greeting. Representative Grant, it acknowledged. The Council awaits. With confidence born of purpose rather than impulsiveness, Tyler led the human delegation through the gateway and into humanity's cosmic future, a future made possible because one day, on a distant world, a young technician had touched a sealed gate as a joke, and an ancient sentinel had opened its eyes. And that was the end of the story. If you listened all the way to here, don't forget to leave feedback about what you thought of the story in the comments, whether positive or negative. Your feedback helps us improve. Also leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. And I'll leave here on the screen another video that I'm sure you'll like. Big hug, and see you in the next story.